"You're her, ain't you?" the girl says. The older woman doesn't answer, her hand still on the doorknob. Porch light's broken. She can't see the girl's face clear, just her outline. Small, shaking, barefoot. There's a bundle in her arms. Tight, too still. "Who sent you?" the woman asks. "Mama said you're the only kin I got left." The woman's jaw clenches. She starts to shut the door. "She's gone," the girl says, pushing her foot against the frame. "3 nights ago. I buried her myself." The woman breathes in once sharp, then opens the door all the way. Inside, the fire's barely embers. The woman nods at the rocker, but the girl doesn't sit. She walks straight to the hearth, crouches low, unwrapping the bundle just enough to show the baby's face. Round, pale, not crying, just blinking. Slow. Too slow for a newborn. "Name?" the woman asks. "Didn't give him one. She said you should." "I ain't a preacher." "Your blood. That's more than most." Silence folds over them like dust. The woman moves to the fire, tosses in a few sticks, doesn't look at the girl. "You don't believe me," the girl says. "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to." The woman throws on another log, harder than needed. It cracks loud. Sparks leap up like they're trying to claw out. "She said you kept a quilt," the girl says. "Blue thread, broken star pattern. Said you made it before the fire." The woman's back stiffens. She stands, turns slow. "She show you that?" Number she just talked. A lot. Toward the end, the woman walks to the hallway, opens a cabinet, pulls out a folded quilt, brings it to the light, unfolds it. "This one." The girl nods. "You knew her," the woman says. "She was my mama. She wasn't supposed to have a child. She didn't plan to." The woman stares at the baby, then at the girl. She doesn't ask who the father is. "Why come here now?" "She said you'd try to send me away. Said to tell you this." The girl raises her chin. "She said the grave's still empty. The real one." The woman sits. Fast. Like the air left her legs. "You buried her." "Under the willow. Same place you were supposed to be." The baby gurgles, not a cry, just breath that sounds like it's remembering something. "She told me to knock once," the girl says. "Wait, then knock again. Said you'd come after the second one." "She was always like that," the woman mutters. "Made everything into a rule." "Did she lie?" "No." "You gonna keep us?" The woman doesn't answer. She lifts the baby instead. He doesn't flinch, just looks up like he already knows her face. She carries him to the rocker, sits. He fits against her chest like he was meant to. "What's your name?" the woman asks. The girl swallows. "I was born without one. She called me Rabbit." The woman nods once. "Fits. You gonna give me a real one?" "Names don't make you real. You got one." "I had to earn it." The girl looks around. The room's quiet, full of patched walls and old paper smells. She walks to the mantel. There's a cracked photo frame, turned backward. "This her?" she asks, flipping it around. The woman doesn't look. "She had your eyes." "I know." The fire snaps. The baby stirs, but the woman rocks slow, steady. "She said you used to sing," the girl says. "That was before." "Before what?" "Before I stopped." The girl lifts the corner of the rug. Wood's warped underneath. Dark stains. The kind that never came out. "She said you cleaned this place with your own blood." "I did." "And they still left you with nothing?" "They left me with silence. That's something." The girl turns. Her voice is low. "She said you're the reason she lived this long." The woman closes her eyes. Her hand rests flat against the baby's back. "She shouldn't have." The girl kneels at her feet. "She said to tell you she forgives you." The woman opens her eyes. "I don't want that." "Doesn't matter. She gave it anyway." The wind presses against the house. The walls creak. The fire burns down low again. The girl rests her head on the woman's knee. She doesn't cry. Neither of them do. Outside, something shifts on the porch. A nail loosening. A board settling. The girl lifts her head. "You expecting anyone?" "No." "You sure?" "No." They stare at the door. The woman rises with the baby, walks to the table, pulls a rusted nail from the drawer, places it beside the match tin. "Just in case." "Always." The girl stands too, walks to the door, doesn't open it. The baby makes a sound, like a name, or maybe just breath. The woman speaks, voice soft but firm. "We don't run." The girl nods. We knock. The baby won't stop staring at the stove, eyes fixed, unblinking, like he sees something neither woman can. The flames are low again, just glowing coals now, but the baby stares like it's trying to speak through them. The girl notices first. He's doing it again. The woman doesn't look. She keeps twisting the corner of her apron. What's he looking at? Could be the light, or what was left in it, the girl says. The woman finally turns. What name did she give you? I told you, Rabbit. Number the real one, the one she made you swear not to say till I asked. The girl stands still. The fire pops. The baby blinks once, then she says it, quiet but sharp, like a cut through cotton. Clara. The woman's hands stop moving. That name's not yours, she says. It was hers. It's buried. No, the girl says. You are. The woman rises, slow, walks to the mantel. The backward photos, still there. She doesn't touch it. She was gone before she left, the woman says. You don't know what she did. She told me. You believe her? She's the only one who didn't lie. The woman turns. That name was meant to stay dead. Why? The girl asks. 'Cause it scared men, or because it told the truth. Because it almost ruined everything I bled for. She said you buried her to save yourself. I did, the woman says. And I'd do it again. The baby whimpers. The woman doesn't move. The girl lifts him up, paces near the rocker. She said you used to walk barefoot into court, the girl says, with your hair braided like rope. Said the sheriff once called you witch blood. He did. And you didn't flinch. I flinched later, when it mattered. The girl stops pacing. Her eyes land on the drawer by the fire. She said that's where the letter is. The woman doesn't respond. The girl moves, quick, opens it. Inside, a folded sheet yellowed at the edges, tied shut with thread the color of dried blood. She told the truth, the girl whispers. The woman closes her eyes. That letter never reached the governor. She said you kept it. I was protecting her. You were protecting him. No, the woman says. I was protecting you. Silence again, heavy now. The girl doesn't put the letter down. You knew she was pregnant. I knew she was in danger. You left her anyway. I told her to run. She ran, straight to a cabin full of rats and roof leaks. She chose to keep you. She chose to live. You just wanted her quiet. The woman doesn't argue. The baby coughs, soft and dry. The girl shushes him, walks to the rocker, sits holding him tight. I never blamed her. The woman says. She blamed you. The flames twitch, then curl back in. The baby starts again, that long, blank stare. He sees something. The girl mutters. No, the woman says. He remembers something. The girl looks up. Like what? Like what happened in this room. The girl studies the walls, the beams, the black scorch under the window. She said it started in the stove, the girl says, that you tried to burn the past. I tried to survive it. Same thing. No, the woman says. Surviving means staying even when everything in you begs to leave. The girl unwraps the baby a little. His skin's too pale for midnight. She said you put her out. I did. She said you loved her. I did. She said love should have kept her safe. The woman steps closer. Her voice breaks like dry bark. I thought it would. The baby reaches out. His fingers curl toward the woman. She doesn't touch him, just kneels by the rocker. She was always fire, the woman says. Burned bright, fast, loud. She said you were water. She lied. She said you drowned everything. The woman looks up. The girl hands her the letter. Then read it, she says. The woman hesitates, unties the thread, unfolds the paper. Her eyes scan it fast, then slow. Then she folds it again and places it on the table. She didn't write this to damn me, the woman says. She wrote it so someone would know. Then why hide it? Because knowing don't always help. The girl stands. It helped me. They stare at each other. Same jawline, same eyes, same ache. She said I'd look like you. The girl whispers. You do. She said you'd deny it. I wanted to. Still do. The woman lifts her chin. No. The girl nods. Walks to the window. The night is still. Porch empty. No footsteps, no horses. Just wind against old shutters. She said to tell you she remembered the creek, the girl says. The woman flinches. Hard. She said you braided her hair after the flood, even when she screamed. I remember. She said you kissed her forehead and said, 'Don't let the river carry you.' I meant it. She said it carried you instead." The woman turns toward the fire. "I walked into that river alone," she says. "You didn't have to." "I did." The baby stirs again. His eyes close this time. Finally. "Name him," the girl says. "I can't." "You must." The woman breathes deep, then says, "River." The girl smiles. "She'd like that." "No," the woman says. "She'd hate it." Still fits. The fire dies down low. Just glow now. The baby sleeps. The girl rocks. The woman folds the letter once more and places it inside the stove. Doesn't light it, just leaves it there. Quiet, watching, listening. The baby reaches for the needle still stuck in the hem, little hand twitching. Not enough strength to grab, but enough to point. The girl sees it first. He's fixated again. The woman looks down. The quilt's draped over her lap, folded once, but not clean. Frayed edges. The corner where the thread still looped through the needle. Dull from years. Sharp enough to cut if touched wrong. He knows it, the girl says. He's a baby. He don't know anything yet. He knows this. The woman doesn't argue, just pulls the quilt tighter, folds the corner under her palm. "Tell me what she told you," the woman says. "About what?" "The quilt." The girl doesn't blink. "She said you made it before the fire. Back when she still had a room here. Said you stitched it during the trial. Said every square had a name in it." The woman nods once. The girl steps closer. "She said one patch had a blue star. Off-center, stitched crooked, matched the scar on her back. Said she laid on it when she woke up after the doctor came." The woman flinches. "She told me that star was hers," the girl says. "Said it was all you gave her when you sent her away. She didn't want to stay. She didn't want to beg." The woman lifts the quilt, studies the stitching. "That star ain't hers." "She said it was." "She lied." "Then whose is it?" The woman doesn't answer. The girl kneels beside her, not soft, not pleading. "She showed me the burn, upper shoulder, same shape, same slant. She must have laid on it when it was still warm. You sewed it after." "Yes." "You knew." "I tried not to." The fire's nearly gone again. Just shadows now. The baby's hand curls, then drops. "She said you used to wrap her in it when the sheriff came to yell," the girl says. "Said she bit her own tongue not to cry. Said you sat in the chair and rocked like nothing was wrong. I remember. You did nothing. I survived. By folding her pain into something pretty? By making something that didn't scream." The girl stands. "So this quilt," she says, "this ain't hers." "No, but you let her think it was." "I let her survive." "She didn't." The woman breathes through her nose, slow. "She said this house burned once," the girl says, "but the quilt didn't. Truth never does. She said you kept it because it held the names. It does." "Show me." The woman doesn't move. "I won't leave," the girl says. "I didn't ask you to." "Then show me." The woman unfolds the quilt, lays it across the table. It's bigger than it looked in her lap. Old cotton, threadbare in spots, star patterns stitched by hand, corners mended, a few dark stains, faded but never gone. "Each patch is a name," the girl asks. "Number each patch is a story. Some I don't remember, some I wish I didn't." The girl runs her fingers across the fabric. "This one, a schoolteacher. Left town after the trial, said she couldn't teach lies. And this, a boy, son of the undertaker, tried to dig up his sister's grave 'cause he swore she was still alive." The girl points to a green square with cross-stitching. "That's my mother, ain't it?" "No, but it's the same pattern as her apron. I made it for her." "Then it's hers." "No," the woman says, "it was a warning. A warning. Green for jealousy, for the way she looked at the badge, for the day she asked if silence could be stitched." The girl's voice drops. "She said you held her down once, when she tried to speak in court." "I did." "Why?" "To keep her alive." "You did it for you." The woman looks at her. Long. "She said you never washed this quilt." "I didn't." "Why?" "Because blood sets permanent." The girl lifts the corner, finds the blue star. "That's hers." She whispers, "No." "Yes." "No," the woman says. That one's mine. The girl stares. I burned myself the day the verdict came down, the woman says. Iron slipped. I didn't scream. Just pressed it in. Sat down and stitched it after. The girl touches the star. Her hand shakes. She thought it was hers, she says again. She always wanted what hurt me. She didn't want pain. She wanted proof. She wanted a mother. The girl folds the quilt gently, carries it back to the rocker, drapes it there like an offering. She said if I found this, I'd know who I was. Do you? I'm what's left. The woman nods. Then stay. The girl doesn't answer. The baby stirs. The fire flickers. Outside, the wind whistles low through the boards. Inside, the needle's still stuck in the hem. The drawer sticks. The girl pulls harder. It jerks open, old wood scraping like bone against bone. She finds it there, just like her mother said. A thick brown ledger with cracked edges and a torn corner. No title, just dust and something sticky along the spine. She flips it open. Pages groan. Dates written by hand. Names. Time of birth. Midwife initials. Notes in the margins. Year after year. Neat. Complete. Until it isn't. She said you logged every child, the girl says. The woman doesn't look up from the stove. I did. She said you had to. For town records. For the church, I did. So where's mine? The woman wipes her hands on a rag, throws another log on the coals, doesn't turn around. You look under 09, she asks. Page is torn. I didn't tear it. No, the girl says, but you let someone. The woman opens a cabinet, pulls out a half-full bottle of whiskey, 2 chipped cups, sets them on the table. One she pushes toward the girl. I'm 17, the girl says. Too old to be lied to, too young to know the cost of truth. Drink. The girl doesn't touch it. She flips another page, another. This is where her name should be, she says. Clara. She's in there. No, the girl says, voice hard. She ain't. You wrote her sister, born 1 year before, but Clara gone, like she was never even real. The woman finally sits, pours her own cup. She wasn't supposed to be born, she says. She was. The woman drinks. She came fast, no warning, out back near the smokehouse. Your grandmother panicked, thought it was a trick, thought your mother was possessed. She was a child, the girl says. She was trouble, the woman says, so you didn't write her down. She wasn't mine to write, but you delivered her. Yes, you saw her come out screaming. I did, and you didn't pick up a pen. I was told not to. By who? The woman looks at the cup, doesn't speak. The sheriff? No. The church? No. Then who? The woman meets her eyes. Your grandfather. The girl goes still. You let a man who never carried a child tell you not to record the one who lived. I was 17, the woman says. Same as you. The girl leans forward. Did he scare you? No. Did you believe him? I wanted to believe someone. Anyone. So you erased her. I hit her. Same thing. No. The woman says, quiet now. It ain't. The girl slams the ledger shut. I was born in this house, she says. Yes. Same floor I bled on last winter. Yes. And no one logged me either. No. The fire crackles hard and dry. So what am I? The girl asks. What's he? The woman drinks. Doesn't flinch. You're proof. Of what? That silence don't erase lineage. The girl stands, walks to the shelf, finds a pen, finds ink. What are you doing? The woman asks. Correcting you. You can't. I can. You don't know the rules. I lived under them. The girl flips to the blank page, stares at the date. What was the day? She asks. Don't. Tell me. The woman's voice cracks. November 3rd. The girl writes it. Time? 4:30, before sunup. Weight? 5 pounds even. Mother? The woman closes her eyes. Clara. Father? The woman doesn't answer. Who? I didn't ask. You knew. I didn't want to, but you knew. The woman nods. Say it. No. You let him live. The woman grips the table. You let him walk into that church, hold the baby, shake the pastor's hand, call her gift from God. I spit in his coffee. You fed him. I had no choice. You had hands. I had sisters. The girl finishes the line, then turns to the next page. Now me, she says. No. The woman says, that's enough. You owe me. I owe her. She's dead. She's still speaking. The woman's voice is shaking now. She said you'd deny me, the girl says. The woman stands. She said you'd still try to erase what you couldn't name. I couldn't protect you. I didn't ask for protection. You should have. I asked for truth. The woman walks to the fire, kneels. She pulls the first log aside, then the second, underneath a black tin box. Burnt edges. She opens it. Inside, an envelope, sealed, yellowed, unopened. Your mother left this, she says. When? Right before she left. Why didn't you give it to me? Because I was scared. Of what? What it might say. The girl takes it, doesn't open it. Not yet. The woman stares at the baby. He's got her hands. The girl nods. He watches like her, too, like he already knows the bad part's coming. They don't speak for a long time. Then the woman whispers, You wrote the name down. I did. They'll come for you now. I hope they do. The woman's voice drops. I'll make more whiskey. The girl smiles. Then I'll drink it. The fire flares. The ledger stays open. So does the envelope. The baby starts crying when the badge reflects firelight. The woman sets him on her shoulder, rocking, whispering nothing. Words meant only for quiet. The girl doesn't move. Her eyes are on the door. The latch never lifted, but he's standing there anyway. Sheriff. No hat, no knock. Boots planted like he owns the boards beneath them. You sent for me, he says. I did. The woman answers. You should have burned the letter. I should have burned you. He smirks, faint, tired. Then his eyes shift, land on the girl. They stay there too long. His smirk dies. She looks like her, he says. The girl doesn't blink. Her who? The woman steps between them. Don't, but the girl sidesteps. Say it. The sheriff shifts his weight, leather groaning. Clara. The name drops hard. The baby whimpers again, like he heard it too. The girl leans forward. Then why'd you pretend she died? He doesn't answer quick, just stares at the quilt draped over the rocker. His eyes drag across the patched blue star, then back to the girl. Town needed peace, he mutters. Peace, the girl repeats. That what you call burying the living? Sometimes you bury what won't stay still. The woman's voice cuts low. You buried her so men like you could breathe easy. I buried her, the sheriff says, so the governor didn't hang us all. The girl laughs once, dry. Hanging's better than this. You don't know nothing about it. I know enough. I know you lied. He shifts again, looks at the fire, won't look at her. The girl steps closer. How'd you do it? What? How'd you fake it? His lips part, then close. His hand brushes the badge on his chest. Not proud, not steady, more like reflex. You wrote it in the log, the girl says. Stillborn, buried same day. I did my job. You did her killin'. The sheriff's jaw tightens. He finally looks up. If she'd lived in daylight, she'd be bones in a ditch by now. The woman's hands grip the baby tighter. She is bones in a ditch. The sheriff shakes his head. Not like that. The girl doesn't let go. Why didn't you fight for her? He laughs low, bitter. Fight. This town don't fight. It folds. We keep our heads down. We keep breathing. That's all. You kept breathing, the girl says. She didn't. Silence falls. Only the fire cracks. The woman moves to the table, pours whiskey in one of the chipped cups, shoves it across to him. You came all this way, she says. Might as well drink. He doesn't. Just stares at the girl again. She told you. She told me enough. Then you know why we can't dig her up. The girl's voice drops sharp. You can't. I can. The sheriff finally drinks. One swallow, then sets the cup down slow. The table creaks beneath it. You're playing with fire, girl, she shrugs. So is she. The woman cuts in, quiet, but heavy. Don't threaten her. I'm warning her. Don't. The sheriff sighs. He looks older now, lines carved deep. He turns toward the baby. The child's eyes are open again, watching him. Too steady, too long. He's got the stare, the sheriff mutters. Same as her. Don't look at him, the girl snaps. He ain't mine. No, the girl says, but you wore the badge when she screamed. The sheriff leans back. You think I wanted this job? You kept it, the woman says, 'cause no one else would. The girl's voice cracks. You could have walked and left you all to him. The woman's face hardens. To the governor. The sheriff nods once. The girl tilts her head. So you're saying it was his hand that wrote her out? Number, it was mine, but his ink. Coward. He doesn't argue, just drinks again. The fire spits, throwing light against the badge. It gleams. The baby screams loud this time, shakes in the woman's arms. The sheriff lifts the badge, unpins it, holds it out. The light dies on it, just dull metal now. You want it? He asks the girl. She stares. That's all you got to give. It's all I ever had. She doesn't touch it. The woman does, snatches it, tosses it onto the quilt. The metal lands heavy, doesn't bounce. You'll wear it to your grave, she says. The sheriff shakes his head. Grave's already waiting. Question is, who climbs in first? The girl whispers, You should. He stands. Careful what you ask. This house still got ears. He turns to the door. Doesn't touch the latch. Just leaves. Same as he came. Quiet. Wrong. The girl stares after him. He ain't coming back. The woman shakes her head. He never left. The baby quiets, his breath soft, slow. The girl sits on the floor, eyes on the badge, on the quilt, on the shadow it casts in the firelight. Why didn't you kill him? She asks. The woman rocks slow, because silence lasts longer. The girl looks up. Not anymore. The woman doesn't answer, just hums low. Not a song, just sound. The baby drifts. The badge lies heavy. The quilt folds under its weight. And the fire keeps burning. She pulls the woman by the wrist, not gentle, not asking. You need to see, the girl says. It's just a hole. She said never go near it. The woman stops short. Her feet press into dead grass. She said that? She said the wells where you buried what you couldn't carry. The woman flinches. Her eyes shift toward the tree line. We dug it dry when the rain stopped, she says. You lied. It's a well. It's a grave. The girl keeps walking. The woman follows. They pass the broken fence. The orchard long gone. The ground dips. Then it's there. Rusted crank. Rope frayed and stiff. Wood frame split down the side like a cracked tooth. The girl circles it once, then kneels. Her hand runs along the stone slow. She dreamed someone whisperin' from down there, she says. Said they kept saying her name. She was fevered. She was right. The woman stands still. I poured oil in it, sealed it with ash. Then why's it open? The lid's gone, just gone. No wind, no storm, just the black circle, wide and silent. The girl lifts the rope. It falls apart in her hand. She said you used to throw things down here. I did. What kind of things? Names, letters, bits of cloth, anything that remembered. Then you threw her too. No. The girl reaches into her coat. Pulls out a small tin lantern, strikes it with flint. Low flame. You won't like what's down there, the woman says. I already don't like what's up here. She ties the lantern to a cord and lowers it. The light sinks slow. Shadows pull with it. Stones slick with time. Then the lantern stops. The girl leans in, breath catching. What is it? The woman asks. There's a blanket, the girl says, tied to a brick. Like it was meant to sink. The woman closes her eyes. It wasn't hers. You sure? No. The girl hauls the cord back up. The flame flickers. Dim, but still alive. She said someone watched her from the well when she was little. Said they knew her name before she ever spoke it. She talked too much. She remembered too much. The woman walks to the edge. Doesn't lean over. Just stands. I threw my apron in there once, she says. The day my father died. Why? It smelled like him. The girl looks at her. You loved him? I feared him. The girl picks up a stone, drops it in. They wait. No splash. You hear that? The girl asks. No. Exactly. She lowers the lantern again. This time, slower. It catches on something. Fabric. Pale. Molded to the curve of the wall. She tugs. It rips. The piece comes up. It's a sleeve. Child's. Blue buttons. One still hanging on. The woman's face goes blank. I stitched that, she whispers. For who? I don't know. The girl crouches. She said you once made her a dress and burned it before she could wear it. I was scared. Of what? If it fit her too well. The girl places the fabric on the grass, smooths it with her palm. She said the well. Remembers. It does. She said it sings. It hums when it's full of lies. They sit beside it. Quiet, cold air rising up like breath. She said you made her promise not to dig here, the girl says. Made her swear it 3 times. I did. And you thought that'd stop her? She listened. No, the girl says. She waited. The woman pulls her coat tighter. I used to come out here after the trials, she says, when I needed to scream. I screamed into the dark and waited for it to echo. It never did, 'cause it swallowed it. Maybe. The girl stands. I want what's down there. You won't find comfort. I want the truth. The woman looks up. Then go get it. The girl unties the cord, wraps it around her waist. I'll hold the crank, the woman says. No, the girl says. You'll let go. I won't. You might. The woman says nothing. The girl leans over, breathes deep. The air smells like metal and old rain. Say her name, the girl says. No. She said you used to whisper it when you thought she was sleeping. She wasn't. She remembered every time. The woman closes her eyes. Clara. The girl drops a new stone. Smaller. It hits something solid, muffled. She nods. There's more down there. Always is. The woman places a hand on the rim, smooths the stone like it's a grave. Promise me one thing, she says. What? If it calls your name, don't answer. The girl grips the cord. Why? Because I did once. The wind moves through the orchard, just a shiver, just enough to remind them they aren't alone. The girl walks away from the well, not because she's afraid, but because it didn't say anything back. Not yet, but she'll return. They both know it. The girl walks barefoot across the cold kitchen floor, doesn't ask, doesn't pause, opens the stove door. What are you doing? The woman asks. The girl doesn't answer. She lifts the iron tray, sets it on the table. Ash spills over, gray dust, bits of black, a single button, melted wax. Then, there, folded in on itself, singed edges, half a stamp still clinging to the corner. You said she wrote to him, the girl says. She did. You said he never got it. I didn't say that. The girl picks it up. The paper flakes. You told her it got returned. I told her what she needed to hear. You told her she didn't matter. I told her he didn't. The girl unfolds it. Slow, careful. The first line's gone. The second is blurred. But the third, your child will never carry his name. The girl reads it out loud. The woman sits. Hard. Her hand finds the table like she's blind. She wrote that before she left? The girl asks. Yes. She told you? No. Then, how'd you get it? She mailed it. I just never let it reach. The girl sets the letter down like it's wet. You stole her voice. I saved her life. You burned it. Half. She trusted you. She had no one else. The fire in the stove hasn't caught, just kindling, just smoke. You let her believe he ignored her, the girl says. I couldn't let her think he cared. She needed truth. She needed distance. She needed to be heard. The woman grips the edge of the table. She said he would have claimed her just to ruin her. She wasn't wrong, but you made the choice. Yes, you made it alone. I did. The girl picks up the letter again. The rest is almost unreadable. One line near the bottom is clear. If you ever come near this house again, I will finish what you started. She reads that one too. The woman doesn't speak. You knew what he did, the girl says. I did. And you let him stay sheriff. I let him live. Same thing. No. The girl folds the letter once, twice. She said you were stronger than him. I wasn't. She said you made yourself small. I had to. Why? To keep her breathing. The girl opens the drawer, takes the ledger out again, places the letter beside it. She wanted this read in public, the girl says. She'd be burned for it. She was burned anyway. The baby stirs in the rocker. Small sound. Still sleeping. The girl walks to the window, wipes the glass with her palm. He comes around still. No. He watches from town. Maybe. He knows I'm here. Not yet. He will. The woman gets up, pulls the tin of matches from the shelf, opens the stove, lights the kindling. The girl watches the flame catch. "You gonna finish it?" she asks. "Finish what?" "The burn." "No." "Why not?" "Because you just read it." The flame rises. The letter stays on the table. "What if he comes?" the girl asks. Then we open the door. The girl turns. "You ain't scared?" "I've been scared my whole life." Now I'm old." "Still?" The woman shrugs. "I can be scared and ready." The baby shifts, makes a small hiccup sound. "You ever tell him?" the girl asks. "No." "Not once." "No." "Why?" "I thought I'd forget it all if I stayed quiet." "Did you?" "No." The girl walks to the letter, stares at the edge that's burned clean. "She said he hit her once." The woman nods. "She said he cried after." "He always did." "She said he told her she'd ruin him." "She did." "She said she loved him anyway." The woman's voice softens. "I know." "She said you warned her." "I did." "She said you held her back." "I tried." The girl runs her hand over the ink. "It's her handwriting," she says. "Curled letters, sharp F's. I used to trace them, make her rewrite them when she got lazy. She never forgot." "I did." The fire roars higher. Heat spreads slow through the room. The girl lifts the letter, carries it to the stove. "You gonna burn it now?" the woman asks. "No." "Then why stand there?" "Because I don't know if keeping it's better." The woman nods. "Some things ain't about better, just about done." The girl doesn't move. Then she folds the letter tight, slides it into her coat pocket. "She said truth was colder than silence," the girl says. "It is. She said you'd rather keep a ghost than let her live." The woman's voice cracks. "She wasn't wrong." The girl walks to the door, opens it, barefoot. Cold air rushes in, cuts through ash and memory. "Where are you going?" the woman asks. "To show him what survived." The woman stands still, doesn't stop her. The girl steps onto the porch. No shoes, no coat, just fire behind her and paper in her pocket. The wind doesn't move the trees. The sky doesn't blink. But the ground feels different, like it knows she's coming. The courthouse smells like old sweat and polished wood. The girl walks in barefoot, letter in her pocket, smoke still clinging to her hair. Eyes sharp, steps louder than they should be. She doesn't ask for directions, doesn't need to. The hall's empty except for one door left open. He's already there. Governor, in a chair too big for the room. Fingers laced on the table like he's already passed sentence. "You made good time," he says. "You knew I was coming?" "Soon as I heard she was dead." "She's not." "She is now." The girl doesn't sit. She stays standing, like she's in a field, not a room. "You remember her?" she asks. "I remember all the troublemakers." "She remembered you." "She remembered wrong." "She remembered your house, your hands, your lies." He leans back. "She was a child." "She was 17. He shrugs. "Same thing." She pulls the letter from her coat, places it on the table. Doesn't slide it, doesn't push, just places it like an offering. He stares at it. "You wrote that?" he asks. "No," she says. "Your wife did." His jaw tightens just once. "That signature's hers." "I know." "She left town years ago." "Not before writing this." He picks it up, doesn't open it. "You read it?" "Every word." "Burned it?" "Half." He opens it, just enough to see the words he hoped were ash. He doesn't speak. "She said you'd pretend," the girl says. "Said you'd sit there and act like it never happened." He closes the letter, sets it down slow. "Who are you?" he asks. "I'm the one who carries her name now." "She don't belong to anyone." "Then why'd your wife call her yours?" His face cracks. Just once. A twitch near the eye. A crack in the corner of his mouth. Not grief. Not guilt. Just recognition. "She was never supposed to survive," he says. "She did." "She wasn't supposed to speak." "She did." "She wasn't supposed to give birth." "She did." His voice drops. "To what?" The girl steps forward. "To truth." He stands. "You think truth matters here?" "I think it scares you." He laughs. "You got no papers, no name, no witness." "I got this letter." He taps it. This is threat, not proof. It's memory. Memory fades. Yours might." He walks around the table, stops close, closer than decent. You know what happens when girls like you come here without names? I become one. You think that's a win? I think it's done. He steps back. What do you want? I want you to say her name. He doesn't. Say it, she repeats. No. Why not? Because I buried it. She lifts her chin. Not deep enough. He turns to the wall, looks at the painting above the judge's chair. A horse, wild-eyed, mid-step. My wife left because of her, he says. No, the girl says. She left because of you. He nods once. Maybe. You gonna call the sheriff? I don't need to. You scared? I'm bored. You should be both. He walks back to the table, picks up the letter again. She gave you this. She left it behind. Why? She knew I'd use it. He looks at her, sees her now. Not just a girl, not just barefoot, but her again. A ghost. A threat. She didn't look like you, he says. Number. But I scream like her. He folds the letter in half. You plan to read this in church? I plan to read it everywhere. And what happens when no one listens? Then I scream louder. He stares. Then he says, You sound like your mother. The girl nods. You don't. He slides the letter across the table. Take it. Tell your story. Burn whatever bridges you want. She doesn't move. He smiles. Thought you wanted fire. I want truth. Same thing. No, she says. Truth leaves smoke. He walks to the window, opens it. Go home, he says. She doesn't. You got your answer, he adds. I didn't hear a name. He looks over his shoulder. Say it, she says again. His eyes narrow. Clara. The name drops like glass. The girl turns. That's the first thing you ever said that's real, she says. He watches her walk away, barefoot. No shoes, no fear, only smoke trailing behind. The girl doesn't leave the courthouse. She turns left instead of right, down the narrow hallway that smells like old paper and sweat behind walls. She knows where the ledgers are kept. Her mother told her once, whispered it between coughs like it was confession. Room with the black filing cabinet. Ask for the 18th page. Don't let him skip ahead. She pushes the door open. The clerk doesn't look up. You lost? He asks. No. You got an appointment? I don't need one. He finally glances over his glasses. Thin man. Red wrists. Dust on his cuffs. Name? Rabbit. He frowns. That ain't legal. No, she says. But this is. She pulls the letter from her coat, sets it down on the counter. He doesn't touch it. What's this supposed to be? A memory you helped erase. Look, I don't... 18th page, she says. Marriage book, year 2009. He stands slower than he needs to. That book's sealed. Unseal it. I need authorization. You got it. From who? The one you erased. He squints at her. She doesn't blink. He sighs, walks to the cabinet, fumbles with the lock. It sticks. Of course it does. You ain't supposed to be here, he mutters. And yet, he pulls the book out. Thick, heavy, leather cracking. He places it on the counter between them like it's an offering to a god he forgot how to worship. Pages are fragile. So is she. He opens it, flips too fast. Slow down. He ignores her. Back, she says. He hesitates. Page 18, she repeats. He swallows, turns it. There. The ink is faint, letters curled with the old town script. Smudge on the edge like a hand gripped too hard. Clara, the girl whispers. Last name scratched out. Beside it, spouse, unknown. Why's it say that? She asks. No signature, he says. She signed. She didn't have a witness. She had me. You weren't born. She was. He shrugs. You let this happen, she says. I did my job. You did his. The clerk closes the book halfway. You need to leave. Not yet. You got what you came for. No, she says. I came for the truth. You found it. I want it said out loud. He steps back. That name ain't spoken. Then I'll shout it. She opens the book again, runs her finger over the scratched-out name. You tried to kill her with paper, she says, but it bled anyway. She wasn't supposed to marry. She wasn't supposed to survive. He leans in. Do you know who he was? I do now. Then you know why this was hidden. I know why it matters. She turns the book around, pushes it toward him. Say it. No. Say the name. I can't. You won't. He grips the edge of the counter. I had a daughter, he says. She waits. She died in the fire. I know. She played with Clara, called her sister. She was. His eyes well. I signed that book the next morning. I couldn't stop shaking. But you didn't erase it. No, he says. The sheriff did. And you let him. I watched. That's worse. He nods. She lifts the letter again. This was her voice, she says. Y'all buried it. He nods again. I'm here now, she says. She warned me you'd come. She warned everyone. She said you'd dig us up. She said the well wasn't deep enough. The clerk wipes his face. She stands straight. Where's the copy? What copy? Marriage certificate. Gone. You burn it? No. Then where? He points to the stove in the corner. Ash pan cold. Unused for weeks. She threw it in herself, he says. Who? Your mother. The girl blinks. Why? She said if she ever had a daughter, she didn't want her tied to a ghost. The room goes still. She said he'd come back, he adds. She didn't want you waiting. The girl touches the page again. The scratch is rough, still visible. She tried to break the line, the girl says. She almost did. She didn't finish. Then you do. The sheriff's voice cuts from the hallway. Sharp, uninvited. She made us hide it, he says. The girl turns. He steps in. No badge now. Just dirt on his boots and a shadow under his jaw like he hasn't slept. You knew, the girl asks. From the start. And you let them? I had to. She was your blood. She was his first. The girl steps forward. You chose him. I chose order. You chose silence. He nods. You gonna lie again? No. You gonna stop me? No. She lifts the book, carries it to the window. The sun's starting to cut through the glass. Barely. She said the ink would breathe if I read it right. The clerk whispers, then read. The girl clears her throat, opens the book. Page 18. Reads aloud. On the 5th day of June, in the year of our Lord, 1909, Clara, last name scratched, was joined in unlawful union with blank. She knew it wouldn't last, the girl says. She wanted it anyway, the sheriff mutters. She paid for it. The room is silent. Then she closes the book. Seal it again, she tells the clerk. But this time, mark the page. With what? A star. He nods, pulls a red pencil from the drawer, draws it quick, small, top corner. Done, he says. She walks to the sheriff, stops inches from him. You gonna move? No. Then watch. She walks past, barefoot, ledger in her hands, ash in her pocket, blood in her name. The girl drops the ledger on the kitchen table like it's something dead. The woman flinches at the sound. That the one? She asks. The girl doesn't answer, just slides the book open, turns to page 18. The red star in the top corner is the only bright thing in the room. The baby stirs in the rocker. The fire's gone to coals again. She wrote it in blood, the woman says. Didn't she? The girl nods once. Some of it. The scratch. Too deep for ink. The girl runs her finger over the name. It's still there, beneath the smudge. The ghost of it. She wanted to vanish, the woman says, but not forget. She wanted to haunt him. She did. The girl closes the book. I'm gonna burn it. The woman blinks. That ledger. Yes. You sure? No. Then don't. I have to. The woman doesn't speak. The girl lifts the book again, feels how heavy it is. All those names. All those lies. She walks to the stove. The woman steps forward. Not in there. Where then? Outside. The girl nods. They move slow. No words now. Just breath and steps. The baby watches them go. Doesn't make a sound. They stop at the pit behind the house. Circle of stones. Black at the center. Used for trash. Bones. Old shoes. The girl sets the ledger in the middle. Pulls the letter from her coat. Folds it tight. Tucks it between the pages. The woman pours kerosene. Not much. Just enough. You sure? She asks again. The girl strikes a match. Doesn't answer. Drops it. The flame catches. But not right. It flares, then dies. Flames curl, then retreat. Smoke, but no heat. It's wet, the woman says. No, the girl says. It's fighting. She strikes another match, drops it. This time, the fire rises. Blue. Unnatural. The girl steps back. The woman doesn't. The flames reach up, then snap back down like they've been scolded. The pages curl at the edges, then stop. The ink sweats but doesn't run. Doesn't bleed. The woman's hand shakes. She used her blood, she whispers. I told her not to. The girl stares. Why would she? She said it'd make the truth stick. The baby cries once, far off. Then silence again. The fire hisses, spits, then stills. The ledger isn't burning, not really. The cover blackens, the spine cracks, but the page with the name, still breathing, still whole. The girl walks closer, looks down. The red star is still there. The governor's name, blank. But her name, Clara, not scratched, not hidden, just there, alive. The girl kneels. Why won't it catch? She asks. Because it already burned, the woman says. The girl looks up. You mean the past? Number her. The girl closes her eyes. You think this is enough? She asks. No, the woman says, but it's something. The fire flares again, bright, blue, then out, just like that. No smoke, no ash, just heat in the stones and a book that won't die. The girl stands. We'll bury it. No, the woman says. Then what? We give it to him. The girl blinks. The governor? No, the woman says. The boy. The baby. The girl stares back toward the house. He don't even have teeth yet. He's got memory. The girl doesn't laugh. The woman picks up the book. It's warm, but no longer burning. She wipes soot off the corner. It's his now. You sure? No. They go back inside. The baby watches them. Still. He doesn't blink. The woman sets the book beside him. He lifts a hand, lays it on the cover. Not hard, just resting. Like he knows. Like he remembers. The girl kneels beside him. You think he'll understand? She asks. Someday. And if he doesn't, he will. The baby's hand stays there. The woman sits. You remember when your mother bled out in that chair? The girl nods. She wouldn't scream. I know. She held the baby like a secret. She said she wanted the last thing he heard to be her heartbeat. The woman smiles. It was. The girl leans against the table. The baby coos. Not a cry, not a whimper. Just sound. Software true. The ledger sits still. The fire in the stove burns steady now. Not blue, not red. Just fire. The shovel hits something hard. The girl stops. Wipes her wrist across her forehead. Dirt on her cheek. Knuckles raw. The woman stands behind her, not offering to help. Just watching. She said it was here, the girl mutters. Said you buried the stone under the lilac tree. I did, but not her. No. The girl digs again. Not deep now, just enough to scrape through the packed clay and roots. The baby's watching from the porch. Swaddled, eyes wide, silent again. The wind shifts, carries the scent of something old. Wet bark, copper. Then, there it is, gray. Chipped at the edge, about the length of a forearm. Half buried, tilted. The girl brushes it with her hands. No gloves, no caution. She stares, reads it out loud. Clara M., 1892 to 1907. She reads it again, then she goes still. This date's wrong. I know, the woman says. She wasn't born in 92. No. She didn't die in 07. No. The girl looks up, and this town. The carving reads Millridge. The girl's voice hardens. She wasn't born here. The woman sits on the grass, legs stiff. No, she says, but it's where I needed her to die. The girl grips the stone with both hands, tries to lift it. It doesn't budge. She said you carved this. I did. She said you cried. I didn't. You should have. I couldn't. The girl runs her finger over the letters. This ain't her. No. But you put her name here. I had to. She was still breathing. She was still loud. The girl stands. Why lie? Because men forget fast. When they think a girl's dead, she wasn't forgotten. She was buried. The girl steps back. And now, she's still not here. The wind kicks up. The lilac leaves shake. The baby coos from the porch. She said if I found this. The girl whispers, you'd finally tell the truth. The woman looks up. She said that? She said you owed it to the ground. The woman closes her eyes. I carved the stone in the shed, she says. Didn't know how deep to cut the letters, so I pressed too hard. Split the edge. Why Millridge? It's where your grandmother's sister died. The grave already existed. I just switched the name. You stole a grave. I borrowed one. The girl laughs, but it doesn't sound right. She said you used to walk her out here and make her stand quiet. The girl says, told her to listen. She liked the birds. She said the ground hummed. The woman stares at the dirt. It does. The girl crouches beside the stone. She's not under here. No. Where is she? The woman breathes in. The creek. The girl looks up. I wrapped her in the last dry quilt, the woman says. Weighted her with bricks. Laid her under the bridge. The one past the field. She wasn't dead. She was gone. The girl's voice shakes. You left her there. I couldn't bury her twice. The girl covers her mouth, stares at the dirt. She said you'd never admit it. I never planned to. She said you kept the quilt. I didn't. Then what's on the rocker? The woman closes her eyes. That's another. The girl wipes at her face. She deserved better, she whispers. She got what I had. No, the girl says. She got what was left. They sit in silence. The leaves stop shaking. The baby lets out a sharp cry. Then quiet. The girl looks back at the porch. He's staring out, one hand lifted toward the tree. Or maybe the air. The woman turns too. He sees it, the girl says. What? The spot. What spot? Where she should have been. The baby's hand twitches. The girl stands. I'm digging it out. She's not there. I don't care. She lifts the shovel again. This time she digs fast. Messy. Not careful. Just deeper. Dirt flies. Then stops. A dull sound. Wood? She kneels. Clears the rest with her hands. It's not a box. It's cloth. Rotten. Wrapped tight. She pulls. Something tied in it. Something heavy. She unties it. Unfolds it. Inside, a small tin badge. Sheriff's. Cracked. Burned around the edges. The woman gasps. She gave me that, she whispers. When? The day after the trial. The girl lifts it. She kept it. She said it was a promise. A promise to who? To herself. The girl turns it over. On the back, barely visible, etched letters. C.M. One voice. The girl wipes the dirt off the metal. She said she'd be remembered. The girl says, she will. The baby gurgles. The girl places the badge on the stone. Not buried, not hidden, just resting. She said if I ever came back here, the girl whispers, to leave something behind. The woman's eyes glisten. The wind moves again, this time warm. The baby lifts both hands now, toward nothing, toward something. The stone stays. So does the badge. But the hum the woman once spoke of, it's louder now, low, steady, like breath under earth, like a name rising slow. The girl spreads the quilt across the table. Doesn't ask, just flattens it with both hands, palms pressing down like she's trying to feel what's still alive in the thread. The woman stands across from her, says nothing. The baby sleeps in the rocker near the stove, arms loose, mouth slack. No cries, no twitching. The girl picks up the seam ripper. I'm taking it apart, she says. The woman nods. I know. Every name. Even mine? Especially. The woman pulls a chair. Sits slow. The girl begins at the edge. The red patch. One frayed letter. W. She cuts it loose. You remember whose that was? She asks. No, the woman says. The girl tosses it aside. Next square. Brown cotton stitched with a crooked H. Her? Maybe. Don't lie. I won't. The girl pulls that one too. The fire burns steady. The baby shifts, then sighs. Some of these names never belonged. The girl says, I know. Why'd you use them? They were the ones I was told to remember. The girl cuts another square, blue with white thread, JD. The woman's hand moves, not quite reaching. That was the midwife, she says. She looked the other way. She earned a patch. She earned silence. The girl slices the thread. It takes hours. By the end, the quilt is a ghost of itself. Just backing, needle marks, empty spaces like graves unfilled. The girl gathers the loose patches into a pile, doesn't burn them, Doesn't bury them, just sets them in a bowl near the stove. Where we startin'? The woman asks. Her name. Middle or edge? Center. The woman brings fabric from the old drawer, strips cut from the dress that hung untouched for years. The girl stitches slow, careful. The needle moves steady, her lips press tight. C-L-A-R-A. The woman watches. Her thread, she asks. Number mine. They stitch together now, name after name. Some real, some recovered, some just initials because memory fades even when guilt don't. The woman adds one, small and slanted, MG. The girl reads it. Who? My sister, the woman says. She died before we learned how to lie. The girl doesn't ask more. She adds the sheriff's name, no title, just the letters. Why? The woman asks. Because even cowards leave scars. Next patch. Red linen. The badge's shape traced in white. The girl adds one last square. Plain muslin. No design. She hesitates. Then stitches. Rabbit. The woman lifts her head. You sure? Yes? You don't want a new name. This is new. It's mine now. They stitch the edges tight. Fold the corners down. Iron them with hands more than heat. When it's done, the girl holds it up. It's smaller than before. Rougher, less perfect, but it's true. They drape it over the rocker. The girl lifts the baby from the basket, wraps him slow, tucks it beneath his chin. He doesn't stir, just breathes. Software full. The woman leans back in her chair. You remember the first quilt? She asks. No. I stitched it when I was 16, said every name would keep us safe. The girl looks at the sleeping child. That one will, she says. The woman smiles, then frowns. You ain't gonna stay, are you? The girl shakes her head. Not long. Where? Wherever memory don't hurt so bad. The woman stands, walks to the stove, stirs the coals. You taking the quilt? No. You leaving him? No. You sure? No, the girl says, but I know he sleeps under it now. And he does. No crying. No twitching, just sleep. Like a name finally remembered, like a stitch pulled tight. Sunrise cuts sharp through the frost. The girl walks barefoot again, quilt folded tight in her arms, not for warmth, not for comfort, just to show them it still exists. The courthouse looms ahead, stone gray, windows closed, door unlocked. She doesn't knock, doesn't need to. The governor's already there, standing at the gate. Coat buttoned wrong, no guards, no posture, just waiting. She stops 5 steps from him, unfolds the quilt slow, lets it hang over the iron bars like a flag. He stares at it, says nothing. This is what you erased, the girl says. He doesn't argue. She steps back, hands empty now, eyes full. The woman comes up behind her. Quiet, like she's always been there, places a hand on the girl's shoulder. She chose you, the woman says. Now I do too. The governor looks older now, thinner, like power finally let go of him. His voice is quiet. You came to shame me? No, the girl says. You already carry that. Then why? To remember what you tried to forget. He studies the quilt. The red patch. He says. That me? No, the girl says. That's hers. He nods once. Is this what you want? No. Then what? To be done. He steps forward. You sure it's finished? The woman answers. It never will be. The wind picks up, flutters the edge of the quilt. Names stitched firm. Clara in the center, Rabbit near the bottom. Small, proud. The governor looks down. You got her eyes. The girl says, and her voice. He opens his mouth, then closes it. She turns to leave, but pauses. The stone under the lilac tree, she says. That yours too? He nods. She said it was. She told me to carve it. You did it wrong. I did everything wrong. She doesn't correct him, just walks. Back through the square, back past the church steps, back to the house, where the baby waits. Inside, the woman holds the child in her lap. He reaches out, hand small, curled, then open. He touches the badge on the table. It doesn't twitch, just lies still, cool, owned, named. The woman watches him. The girl kneels beside them. He knows, she says. The woman nods. He always did. They stay like that. No words, no titles, just blood and thread and breath. Kin. By choice, not chance.